Hey, what's up, good people? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. You already know what to do. Hey, we had a lot that happened today. We had the president. He spoke in front of the UN here in New York in the US, right? We had Fed Powell. He spoke. He addressed the economy. Then we had gold hitting an all-time high, and now we have crypto had a flash crash over the last couple of days. So there's a lot going on. You know what to do. Follow the prompter. You saw it, all right? So let's start with the president because all of this has an effect on the market, okay? So we could see, let's go right here. The president addressed the United Nations General Assembly on today. All right. So the president criticized European allies over Green Deal. I mean, he was harsh. You have to see it. Like it's a farce. It was the whole Green Deal is the global warming. He went through all of that. All right. Mr. Trump, in a social media post after meeting with Ukraine President Zelensky, should I say it, believes Ukraine can win back all of its territory from Russia. So now the president was saying that we have to put sanctions on Russia, and he was telling the UN that they need to participate by not buying oil from him. All right. So he was telling the United Nations that. And he said, you guys are, you're saying one thing and you're doing another. He kind of rebuked the rest of them, right? So we're not going to make this political. I'm just telling you what's happening while the markets was moving. Okay. So what happened with the market today? You can see here the NASDAQ. Now, I pulled out pulled back a few because you can see here, you got September 22nd right there, right? So let's just go from this dip. So basically, we had a pullback from the morning. Remember, we had that morning, we had a pullback first in the pre-markets. And then what happened on yesterday? We had that $100 billion investment from NVIDIA that took the market back up. And then now we come back down to where we actually was headed on the 19th. If you really look at it, it's just kind of flat. If you really just look at what's going on. Now, we could see that the S&P, let me stack the S&P and Dow and NASDAQ, all right? So we could see that the bears won today, especially on the NASDAQ, pulling it down. The Dow by 80 points and S&P down by 37 points. We could see what's going on. Now, someone keeps correcting me, quit saying points. Quit saying points. And man, it's not percentage, okay? So here's your percentage right here. I'm going to continue to say points, okay? Because if we were down 100 points in the NASDAQ, you got much bigger problems, okay? It's better to remain silent, all right, than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. All right, so we got gold actually hit another record high. Gold just keeps, just like the S&P and the NASDAQ, gold just keep hitting new intraday highs day after day after day. Now, gold usually surge as a hedge of protection, but gold has been coming strong. Now, people always say, Larry, why don't we buy gold? But they always say that when gold is high. But just like it runs up, it cools off. So for me, a better position for gold, which I have none, not even gold stock, there was a period where I was in it. To me, the best thing to do, which I could have done, was I bought it when it was down, and all I had to do was sit and wait and hold. But sometimes that hold is a long time for gold, okay? So here's another big story. Boeing Defense, Space and Security partners with Palantir to accelerate AI adoption across defense classified program. Now, I know a few of you really don't like Palantir and don't like what they do, but I'm going to continue to talk about it. It's up to you whether you like it or not. It's just like weed stock or gambling stock. I am going to talk about them, and then it's up to you what you feel like doing. But I'm going to continue to talk about Palantir. So please stop saying don't talk about Palantir. You get your own page and then you don't talk about what you don't want to talk about. All right. I'm me. I'm just keeping it real. All right. So let's go. So here's some of the things that's happening today. Stock market today, Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, as Fed. So now let's talk about what Fed Jerome Powell talked about today. Powell says a slowing labor market prompted rate cut, like we've been discussing here, all right? Challenging a situation ahead. So we knew that the jobs was weakening from the data, and he shifted his focus from inflation more to jobs, 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 jobs. Okay. And so that's where he decided and why he decided to actually cut rates, right? So let's keep it moving. There's a lot of things going on here. Let's see what's coming across the ticker as we speak. S&P 500 closes lower, snapping three-day winning streak as AI trade in NASDAQ fizzles. Okay, all right. Powell hints stocks are overvalued. Now, I'm glad I clicked on this because he did say that stocks are overvalued, and he's right. Stocks are frothy. When you hear me say frothy, meaning they're expensive. So I will say expensive after I use the term, right? So the stock market is expensive and very expensive at that. So when you're buying, so for example, I started a new portfolio, and in that new portfolio, that's in Money Moves, link below, I'm buying really small amounts. Some of them I'm buying on red days. I buy most on red days and I just wait. So today there was a lot of an alerts. Okay. There was a lot of alerts in Money Moves. I know some of you guys are working. You going, Larry, and you buying again? That's how it goes when you're trying to build a long-term portfolio. Sometimes there's days when nothing's happening, and then sometimes there's days when it's just pop, pop, pop. Okay? And so that's what happened today in Money Moves for those of you that haven't taken the time to spend $1 a day to really make some money. Come join us. Top link below. Now, crypto. We could see that it is down over the week. You know, the one that's been pumping, pump is down 30%. And I still have my positions in pump. All right. So everything is down. So we know that when Bitcoin goes down and then Ethereum goes down, the alts come down also. But I do see something. Okay. The alts come down also. And then what happens is the memes really come down. Okay. And so that's what's happening. So it's expected. So as we look, we could see that now Bitcoin is back beneath 111. We got 111.8 on Bitcoin. Still going south, unfortunately, down another 25%. I'm sorry, 0.25%. We'll call it flat for the last 24 hours, but over the last 7 days, 4.30% ish down. And look at Ethereum over the last 7 days, a 7.37% down. And that's not good. Look at that. XRP back under $3. And I keep telling you guys, don't get in a rush. Don't say, oh, it's not coming down. Every single time you think it's not coming back down, it does. And if you just wait for it to hit, whether it's 275, 270, whatever, it keeps coming back. Even though it goes back in a few days, it could, by Monday, it could be back above 3. But you just wait and let it come to you. Now, what's really moving south is Solana for a big market cap. Look at Solana down 10% over the last 7 days or a week. But what catches your eye, Larry? This catches my eye. All right. Now, anything I say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell. But for me, this is a buy signal right here. This is where I buy. I buy from here on down. I start buying here. I buy heavier here, and I buy heavier even here. And Oddly enough, on the other end of that, I actually buy less here while everyone else is chasing, and I'm not buying here. And so this is what you literally can trade on this fear and greed index. And just don't, don't, don't follow the herd. Let me look into my portfolio and look at some of the positions I'm in. Here's where I just start a dollar cost averaging back in too. So remember, at this time and point, I'm not looking for any new coins, though I did, dibble into some pump, and I'm holding pump, and pump will pump again. But at this particular time, you should have been in crypto. And for those of you that are in crypto, it's right now, it's really simple. Look at the crypto that is down the most, starting with your alts. Alt season hasn't really truly taken off now, or should I say yet. So I would be looking at all of my altcoins. Remember, every one of us bought at a different purchase price. Some of us have been buying for the last 2 years. Some of us have been buying since the halving, right? And then some of us has been buying since the beginning of this year. We're all in different positions. So if you have a crypto that you are down the most in, especially in this range, even if it's Bitcoin and or Ethereum, then this is where I would be looking to not buy big chunks, because I believe we have a few more red days. Like I said, this is not even a big, this is not a red, this is nothing. This is really not a pullback to me. So this is not the pullback that I'm looking for. And I just believe that we got a little more cooling off to do without even pulling up a chart and looking at the SPY and all of that. I just believe we have a little more cooling down, and it's healthy so we can continue upward towards the end of the year into probably next year. But let's just deal with this year. I believe we have some more cooling off to do before we turn around and end this year higher. Now, I'm not excited about that, but you want someone that's going to look you in the eye and tell you the truth. So I'm going to leave it right there, good people. I just wanted to let you know all of these moving parts. Now, remember, geopolitical situations are rising up again. That statement that the president made after talking to President Zelensky and really saying that they can take back territory, and that in the long end, that Putin is not doing well and he doesn't think Putin's going to win this war, that's an about face. And that could have some, effect on the market. So let's keep our eyes open. Remember, there's a saying: you buy on the sound of bombs, okay, and you sell on the sound of trumpets. Meaning, soon as something happens and the market gets a hit geopolitically, that's generally the time to actually buy while every other one else is running. Okay, and when the trumpet sounds, meaning that the war is over, that's when you sell. So pretty much buy the dips, sell the rips. And it is true, I've done it a lot and it has worked. Okay, I'm going to leave it right there. I'm not even going to show you money moves or stock up you, but I'm telling you, stock up you, we're going to move into that, because I'm finding that a lot of people really, really, really need stock up you. And there's a coupon code on the link below. So stock up you is going to be the biggest, should I say the top link below. And then we're going to get back into, for those that have money move, we're going to get back into some options training, not options trading, but options training, actually starting this week and next week for the next, a couple of days this week and a couple of days next week. We're going to get back into some live options training so we can be ready. So if the market starts to sell off, say sometime in 2026 or 2027, you will be prepared to do some put options and make money, right? And or do some call options and still make money. We want to make money regardless of what direction the market is headed. All right, we're going to leave it right there. We'll see you tomorrow. Live, love, laugh, and learn.